Welcome to Daily Bread. As always, this reading is timeless, which means whenever you find this message, or whenever this message finds you, is when you're meant to see it. So please, take what resonates and leave the rest for someone else. The energy's already been cleared. Let's get started. Let's start by asking Source, what is the energy we need to focus on for this message? Source, what is the energy we need to focus on for this message? Source, what is the energy we need to focus on for this message? Source, what is the energy we need to focus on for this message? Take it. Surrender. Yeah. So Source is telling someone right now, you are in a space where you are feeling a little bit swept away. You feel like things are moving a little fast. Source is telling someone where you feel like you're struggling against the current. So I see someone who you feel like no matter what you do, it's the wrong thing. And it's interesting because it doesn't seem like that's always necessarily the feedback that the people are giving you, but that is your impression of the situation. And to be honest with you, there's a disconnect between the way that you're perceiving yourself. There's a disconnect between how you think other people are receiving you and how people are actually receiving you. And Source is telling you that this disconnect from this discomfort that you feel when you're moving around in the world because you feel like you're being rejected is not coming from the outside, it's coming from the inside. I'm seeing someone who's rejected themselves beforehand for situations that they're about to go into. And when they get there, they're finding themselves rejected. And that is because you're manifesting rejection. And what Source is saying is surrender to greater love. Surrender to higher love for yourself. Surrender to more self-esteem. Surrender to the love that you have for others that you should be giving yourself. Surrender to the love that you can fill your life with instead of the rejection, because there's more to life than just finding yourself rejected from situations and people. So let's go into the tarot and see what else that we have for this. So again, please take what resonates and leave the rest for someone else. But I know I'm talking to somebody here who's been in some dark spaces, and you feel the tides are about to change because you're tired. You're fighting against yourself, and you're realizing that you're making things harder for yourself because these thoughts are coming and you're accepting them. But other thoughts can come, and Source is saying surrender to the more positive thoughts. Don't work so hard to keep positivity away. Some people are really uncomfortable with letting things be happy and lighthearted. And Source is saying, what kind of person do you want to be? Do you want to be the type of person who can allow joy and peace and love? Or do you want to be the person who has to try to kill it every time you see it budding somewhere? And when you see that, when you see people who are trying to literally be killjoys, that is because their spirits are dry in their deserts. So what Source is saying is don't let yourself dry up. Surrender to this flood of love that's trying to come your way and positivity. I'll read those together since they came out together. Reading those together since they came out together. Reading those together since they came out together. Yeah, Source got a lot of downloads for somebody. So I'm seeing the King of Pentacles and Death and Rebirth. Absolutely. We were just talking about this a little bit. So the Eight of Swords and the Queen of Wands. And I'm also seeing the King of Cups and the Four of Swords. Let's get into it. So with this Death and Rebirth, Source is saying there's a mindset in you that needs some construction. So we need to end a mindset and rebirth a mindset. And that mindset is this self-rejection, this self-loathing that is blocking your money, that's blocking your opportunities for happiness, that's blocking your opportunities for material safety. And I'm talking like basic necessities. I'm talking like living wage. I'm talking like housing, food, transportation. So what I'm saying is this mindset that someone has found themselves that they need to get away from is blocking all their blessings. But what Source is saying is once you start making those efforts to see yourself as worthy of friendships, to be able to, for example, like my sticker says, take those compliments and internalize them, to be able to allow yourself to build greater self-esteem. And I'm seeing that the barriers to that are definitely in your head. Like with this Eight of Swords, what I'm seeing is that somebody has mental barriers, or maybe there were things implanted in you when you were younger. And this could have been anywhere from those early childhood years to those teenage years, where people put things, beliefs and ideas in your head that maybe you're not worthy, maybe you're not lovable, maybe they put things into your head like, oh, you're ugly, or you're not pretty, or you're not that smart, or no, or you know, or maybe they told you other gaslighting lies, terrible things. But source is saying those are all in your mind. Those are those restraints, those limitations are illusions. So once you clear those from your mind, you'll be able to find yourself in this Queen of Wands energy, which is full of curiosity, full of joy, full of hope. This is an attractive, lighthearted spirit. The Queen of Wands represents powerful, feminine, receptive, as well as directed feminine energy. Because with the Queen of Wands, she is all fire and light. So she has passion, she has joy, but she has no bitterness, she has no anger, she has no resentment. She has her emotions in check, she keeps them in perspective, and her intuition is heightened. And what Source is trying to tell someone right now is to move out of this space of being in your mind limited to being in your mind all of these beautiful, wonderful things that you know that you are. And I'm also seeing with this King of Cups that somebody is feeling that they need to start mastering their emotions. And because what's happening right now is I'm seeing someone whose emotions are stopping them from even being able to sleep. And it's really interrupting your peace of mind. But what Source is saying is that your emotions can be a source of peace. And you do that by surrendering your thoughts to the loving thoughts, to the higher thoughts, to the positive thoughts. Surrender to those. And what Source is going to say is you'll start to see more peace in your life, more peace in your mind, more peace in your spirit. Peace all over. So what I'm saying here is Source is about to bless somebody with peace. Source is trying to bless somebody with love. Source is trying to bless somebody materially, financially, and romantically if you want it. Because what I'm seeing is with this King of Cups is somebody has options for romance. And really all it takes is some more redirection and a little bit of self-discipline to surrender to a greater love inside of you instead of surrendering to that voice of rejection and self-loathing. So let's go to the Oracle and see what actions or advice that we have for surrendering and moving from this place of limitation and self-rejection to a space of rest. And Source is saying, not for you. So not for you is being able to determine for yourself what you say no to. So not for you, again, sources, everything can come to us. We attract lots of things. We attract things that we're intending. We attract things that we're not intending, but not everything that we attract is necessarily meant for us. We have the power of choice. So even as these thoughts come and when we deal with intrusive thoughts, like things like self-loathing and things that help us, that make us question our self-esteem, that make us feel unworthy, things that make us feel like we're not deserving of good things in life. When those things come to you, you are allowed to say, not for me. So let's go to the Loving Universe Major Arcana and see what lessons we have to go along with our message. Source, what else do you have? What other lessons do you have for us for surrendering and being able to not accept everything, that be able to say no to some of the things that come our way, because everything we attract is not for us. Everything we attract is not for us. I'm going to take strength because it came up. Strength. Yeah. So the lesson here is to be able to understand what it is that your heart wants. Your heart only has the strength to accomplish what it wants to accomplish. And if you're trying to force your heart into a space where it can't accomplish anything because you don't have the self-esteem to do it, because you keep allowing yourself to surrender to negativity instead of surrendering to positivity and higher love, you're never going to be able to have the strength to be able to break through the bounds that you are trying to break through. So it's kind of a double-edged sword here a little bit, but I'm telling you, once you get to the point where you're able to start surrendering more to the positive thoughts, when you are able to death and rebirth your mindset, you're going to be able to start breaking through these generational curses, these chains, these limitations that were implanted in you and self-imposed and carried on, and you'll be able to start living your life with more peace. So that's the reading that I have for you today. Congratulations to somebody who is about to really have a breakthrough. And take what resonates, leave the rest for someone else, and I will see you next time.